화요일 3시 49분이 돼가고 있습니다. 오후. 제가 5시쯤에는 저기 팔당에 우리 도자기 교수님 저녁 식사에 초대를 받았습니다. 1시간 좀 책을 읽고 가도록 하겠습니다. 옛날 의정부 교회 다닐 때 택시기사님이 그때 내가 메모 좋아하는 걸 알고 달력 큰 거 그거 준 거 내가 모아놨다가 메모지로 쓰고 있습니다. 책을 읽으려면 읽기만 하는 게 아니라 읽다가 이런 표현이 있구나 그때 바로 메모를 해서 남겨서 반복을 해야 진짜 써먹을 수 있을 때까지 반복이 돼야 되기 때문에 메모가 대단히 중요하죠. The Total Money Makeover, a proven plan for financial fitness. First, find out what index you use and when it is adjusted. Stop procrastinating. A simple guide to hacking laziness, building self-discipline, and overcoming procrastination. Oh, and the problem will only get worse. Machine platform crowd, harnessing our digital future. If the crowd comes up with a better idea, how will you bring it into your core? You can be happy no matter what. We have seen throughout this book that our thoughts grow with the attention we give them, and that the more we think about a given situation, the more real and formidable it will seem. Thank you for being late. Al-Qaeda and ISIS, using high-density fossil fuels, are trying to wipe out all that diversity and create a monoculture that is enormously susceptible to conspiracy theories and diseased ideas. Do what you want. Our best career is dependent upon us being in great shape mentally for two reasons. When we look after ourselves, we have the courage to stick to our conviction, to know that the path we are on is the correct one, even when things are not going easily. Money mischief, episode in monetary history. Why do they produce inflation? when they understand its potential for harm. Let my people go shopping. Our sourcing managers must be Patagonia reps in every sense of the word to convey our standards for product quality, environmental and social concerns, business ethics, and even our image as an outdoor company. Positive energy. We were just trying to get Dixie cups of granola to hippies in sleeping bags. Granola. Start with why. With why. Thankfully, Schultz was there, the physical embodiment of the why, to remind people of the higher cause. A sense of urgency. If a new sort of crisis might help, consider creating one, but with all the many cabis and the principles discussed earlier. Cabis. I don't want to be self-righteous. I never profess to be a perfect person because I'm not. The 1 minute negotiator, the wannabe winners. This is a self-assessment evaluation, and it is difficult not to answer the way we wish we thought and behaved. Affluence intelligence. This book will help you discover how to find balance and fulfillment even during challenging financial times. Reaching your full affluence intelligence requires a multifaceted journey. The 45-second presentation that will change your life. Maybe they were just waiting to see how the program was going to work for you. Smarter thinking. In 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first McDonald's restaurant in Des Plaines, Illinois. How doctors think. But the notion that they would have no significant toxicity and would usher in a new era in treatment proved wrong. Economic indicators. The FOMC formally gathers 8 times a year and issue a statement on the results of its deliberation. At the conclusion of each meeting, speak like the CEO. The point is to see how well these candidates think on their feet. Big vision. The drive, ambition, and the entrepreneurial spirit that Scott exhibited leaves little doubt that he could have started any kind of business he wanted. Export, understanding the path to mastery. He may notice that his clay is too dry, too soft, or too. Edison on innovation. It combined the laboratory, workshop, and the factory, and it employed the scientists, craftsmen who were expected to solve the problems Edison set for them, but to do so in a democratic and informal atmosphere that allowed them the space to exercise their own initiative. The leadership challenge, how to make extraordinary things happen in organization. Chapter 12 celebrate the values and the victories. Charles also does crazy, spur of the moment things to celebrate the team's accomplishment, like going to the local grocery store and buying boxes of popsicles and ice cream bars. The upside of down. Why failing well is the key to success. There are these vastly powerful forces, and they are evil. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. That's because the potential meaning behind our wrongness is often painful. Hunger, hunger. They will say things like, don't say that about yourself, because they understand the fact as something shameful, something insulting, while I understand the fact as a reality of my body. One on rebellion, rejection, and lucky break. Whether you have an important job interview or just want to be noticed in your current role, how can you make sure you stand out for all the right reasons? Tell me the why. It climbs by increasing the angle of the rotor blade. Still like an artist. It's done and this sucks, but not as bad as I thought. Multipliers. Most important, don't assume responsibility for fixing the problem. How to be under everything, finding the time. Now that we've made some choices, let's figure out how to fit all our glorious projects into our lives. 5-day weekend. Few people understand the liability limits on their auto insurance, which covers bodily injury as well as compensated for uninsured and underinsured claims. Inspired destiny, embracing the duality of life. The mere fact that you have obstacles to overcome is in your favor. Every situation has a positive side and a negative side. Now build a greater business. 7 ways to maximize your profit in any market. Why does your ideal customers buy your product or service? The wealthy barber. Finally, and just as important, in the highly unlikely event that your fancy footwork is a good mathematical move from a common sense standpoint, it's still questionable. Questionable. Invisible influence, the hidden forces that shape the behavior. But Cohen did not stop there. $1 billion consulting. Let your consulting clients know the full gamut of your abilities and competencies and do so periodically. Gamut. The Leader's Guide to Influence, how to use soft skills to get hard results, follow up on their ideas and help them develop their next steps. The Family Manager's Guide for Working Moms, the first parent to a teenager whom knows what to start for dinner. The Story of You, the Story of You. Ideas for the Forge news story. On Easter Sunday morning, while I was celebrating Eucharist at an Episcopal parish in Nashville, I looked out at the congregation and noticed a father and his 10-year-old son sitting on the aisle in the first pew. Closing the innovation gap. We don't want the mother tiger to roll over and squish them, which can happen quite easily, she said. Squish. Brand sense, sensory secret behind the stuff that we buy, which is ironic considering the high probability that few of these consumers have ever seen Coke, in a glass bottle in their lives, or sit at the table, outsourcing decisions, single e-pilot, single pilot turbines, a couple falls pools, and I get scared away with that. With that, managing your mouse, an owner's manual for your most important business set. The size of the group will start to inhibit everyone, and the words that would have flowed easily will now become harder to get out as the inhibition set in. Inhibit. Bulletproof diet. Lose up to a pound a day. Reclaim energy and focus. Upgrade your life. If you follow the bulletproof diet, you are already upgrading your brain's ability to drain waste as you sleep. Thank you notes. Pens at the ATM for being attached to the deposit slip table by tiny change. Perfect praises for business letters. If the job description lists requirements that are particularly well suited to your skill set, mention those to the person writing the reference letter. Secrets of the Money Lab: How Behavioral Economics Can Improve Your Business. In this way, success breeds success. Get off your butt. If you act as if you are worse off than others, you will believe it and you will live your life feeling inferior. Trading in the zone. As with physical pain, this mechanism operates at both the conscious and subconscious level. The power of the fall. Although we may face critical situations now and then, most of us will not be required to face a life and death scenario. Direction: searching for synonym. Circle a word or phrase in each sentence that is the synonym for a word in the word box. Your handwriting can change your life. Chapter 9. The Family of Applied Creativity. How to live on 24 hours a day. And it is certainly true that now, with 1 day in 7 in which I follow no program and make no effort save what the caprice of the moment that dictate. I appreciate intensely the moral value of the weekly rest. Caprice, caprice. Start your own business. While you should certainly consider the cost of the device when shopping for a smartphone, you'll also want to look at the level of national and international roaming service offered based on the areas where you'll use your smartphone the most. Fishy and seafood, a collection of over 100 essential recipes. Melt 2 tablespoons of the butter with the oil in a deep saucepan over medium heat. Find your happiness. Now, under that same roof were 2 apartments and 3 businesses. How to see what others miss and predict the future. For a monthly fee, they offer customers access to lawyers, mediators, and legal resources whenever they need them. Being the boss, the 3 imperatives for becoming a great leader. Clarity about how team members work together, the values and norms for collaboration that prescribe and guide interaction among group members. Commencement. Commencement. I'm sorry, it's so abbreviated. Rich brother, richer sister. 2 different passages to God, money, and the happiness. In that song, Denver called him the grandfather of the future. What the rich invest in that the poor and the middle class do not. The mission of a business should feed a need that the customers want. And if it feels the need and fills it well, the business will begin to make money. The 17 indisputable laws of teamwork. Embrace them and empower your team. Ask for feedback concerning your listening skills from your boss or mentor, your colleague, and your subordinate. Give yourself a 360-degree review. Are you fully charged? What is one step you can take today to see how your work make a difference for others? Cast your own shadow by building your dreams into your job. What is one step you can take today to see how your work make a difference for others? the first break all the rules. He discovered that across these diverse it takes between 10 and 18 years before world-class competency is reached. Miracle morning. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and prayer is to the soul. We become the books we read. R is for reading. A person who won't read has no advantage over one who can't read. Fire starter session, a soulful and practical guide to creating success on your own terms. Fear and the other top stuff. The Taipei woman. While the term strikes a frighteningly familiar chord with almost every woman I have known who strike to achieve in a complicated life with multiple role demand, it is not specific with respect to discrete behavior. Hire and keep the best people. Make the decision properly. Proper decision making is a key management skills. The education of millionaires. I'm about to cut through all the bullshit. And give you a one sentence definition of the word. Your brand is what people think about when they hear your name. The third door. The choir stopped the singing, gathered their things, and slipped out the door. Another week passed. There was still no answer. Smarter living. Nest. They typically charge just a fraction of what a full-time human money managers cost. 12 and a half. You might be a more effective writer. Carburetors for dummies. Taking a quiz. Do you know your carburetors are the anatomy? You incorporated the art of selling yourself, a business classic. One of his subjects ran a bookstore with a carefully selected collection of business books. Coactive coaching. Self-management is a context of discretion, always in the client's best interest. The five levels of leadership. Lack of commitment can keep leaders from doing the hard work of people development. Nearly anyone can lead others uh, positionally. Many people can lead others relationally. Few people can be productive and put a team together to achieve a goal positionally. Power question. 337 essential question to help you succeed at work and in life. The awe and the wonder of the power question. Barking up the wrong tree. In his research on the subject, Michael found that police made three big mistakes when it came to dealing with the crisis instance. They made everything black and white. They wanted to solve things immediately, and they didn't focus on emotion. $1 million reason to change your mind. Without struggle, we don't gain strength. Without pain, we don't progress. matters to a young athlete. So put that work into yourself and be proud of it. You are old, I'm old, get used to it. 20 reasons why growing old is great. I do not know if I am singular when I say that I believe there is no man with whom I can associate who will not, comparatively speaking, spoil my afternoon. Singular. Sprint. Instead of a storyboard, the entire page portrays one screen of the online store in detail. One one click. Chapter 14, a cool guy with a funny laugh. The thing about inventing is you have to be both stubborn and flexible, more or less simultaneously. Of course, the hard part is figuring out when to be which. Influence the psychology of persuasion. My heart sank. G recalled. G recalled. Don't fire them up. Motivate yourself and your team. If you don't believe that, after having gotten this far into the book, I recommend you use these pages to light the charcoal for next weekend's barbecue. Intelligence, the creative response to now. When the door comes, he will know, and when the turn comes, he will know. He can trust in his eyes. Outsmart your brain while learning is hard and how you can make it easy. Thus, you sit at your desk at 7:30 p.m., for example, ready to work for 2 hours, and you ask yourself, what learning task am I taking on today? The worry solution. Then I asked him to go through the sorting exercise above, above and rank his concerns on a 1 to 10 scale. The science of mind. Here is a prayer, and here is its answer. The answer to prayer is in the prayer when it is prayed, and the answer is identical with the prayer. Know how. The 8 skills that separate people who perform from those who don't. The buck started with you, determining and setting the right goals. Science. Ready for work. The orbiter's cargo bay doors opened to reveal the contents, such as satellite. Good business. Each approach has its valid place in the scheme of things. The obesity code unlocking the secret of weight loss. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day for big food. Hot commodities. The ancient alchemist dreamed to turn lead into gold took up many fine mines from the 3rd century BC into the Middle Ages. The power of affirmation. I am attracting money into my life on a daily basis. Organize your job search. Arrive on time. Having a few minutes to pull yourself together prior to the interview will make an enormous difference in feeling at ease. Small business marketing. Getting the word out without the advertising. Sports psychology dummies. Set and reach your goals. Using the environment around you. Many athletes feed off the excitement of the crowd and the fact that they are being observed by others.